can't deal with you.
Is it on?
Get your shit together.
I am. I'm ready. I'm proud.
Do the intro.
Okay. Hi, welcome to War Game Wednesday. You're an asshole. I hate you. Welcome to War Game Wednesday. This is episode 8, as I've been reminded 13 times. And as you can see, we're in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo.
Just like every anime.
Just like every anime since ever. No, we're actually going to be playing... Oh, the book's all over there. I'm in the picture. We're playing Dust Warfare because Lorenzo quickied his order and we got it the day after.
Yeah, I know. I spent
crazy money.
$20 on shipping just to get the shit in.
The shipping cost more than the book, but almost legit though.
Yeah.
But we actually had a chance to go through the rule book.
By which he means we had a chance for me to go through the rule book and then explain the rules to him,
and me to read the rules while under several painkillers and various other cold fighting drugs. So I don't remember very much of what I'm going to do, but we're actually very impressed with the rule book from what we can remember, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
More or less. But I mean, ultimately, you never know until you actually fucking playtest the rules, right?
And that's what we're going to do tonight. So we're playing 200 points. It's not really night, but anyway, 200 points.
Yeah.
Of Allies versus Axis, which is really all you can do with this.
Right. Although the SSU book is on its way.
So on the table, I'm just going to spell it off really quickly what I got. I got 2 squads of... oh shit. Okay, let me do Lorenzo's first. 2 squads of Battle Grenadiers. One has an extra rocket launcher. He's the Recon Grenadiers. Laser Grenadiers, I think Sigrid's with them, right?
Yep.
So it's Sigrid. And then he has a Luther and a Lothar.
Yep.
Right? And
I got some walkers, yep. I got a command squad back there somewhere.
That's pretty much what you would have got if you had bought the old school starter set, the artillery walker box, and one box of... I had too many beers. One
already
box of the Panzer Killers. Really, to buy that would have cost you $150. So that's a 200-point army. Probably costs about 150 USD or Canadian dollars. And I have a Pounder, a Steel Rain, the Recon Boys.
All these porn names in your army.
I know. I got the Recon Boys, I got the Gunners, I got the the Bot Killers or some shit. And I'm missing the BBQ Squad. And Joe Brown. Bazooka Joe. His name's Joe.
Yeah.
So that's
really?
It. Yeah.
A character named Bazooka Joe's
name
is Joe?
And, yeah, it's awesome. Really, again, my army probably would have cost you about the exact same. Our armies are very similar. The buy-in was minimal. And, okay, that in the rule book, you're looking at, in total, 300. How much was the rule book?
35.
So, 335.
350, consider it's done.
350? You got 2 200-point armies and a game to play.
Yep.
What you're going to do for terrain, I have no idea.
Yeah, well, look, considering what we ended up doing for terrain, we're not going to be much help to you in that department. We've got...
So explain how we did it, because you need to cover a quarter of a 4x4 table and we couldn't do
Right, so we didn't have nearly enough. So we've got some boxes from AT-43, some crates, some tank traps, right? Now these are these 4 have been essentially connected to form a larger piece of area terrain.
There's no way in the middle, you can't get in.
Yeah. And these 5 tank traps represent an area of tank traps, so it's supposed to be all filled in with tank traps.
That's where Lorenzo's going to put his ashtray later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's
basically it's the ashtray.
That's what's going to happen. I'm going to try and fill it with the ashes of my enemies too. Okay, so yeah, that whole area is filled with tank traps. Now, the way deployment works, we chose to use the tournament game builder. Yeah. Get the book and open it to the right page. And so the way this works is page before.
Yeah.
Make yourself useful for once. Okay, there. Down at the bottom of this page, fucking Vanna White. You see that there's essentially these 3 areas are different areas you can spend your. Each player gets 2 scenario points. You roll 5 dice each. The player with the fewest hits has to spend the first point, and you alternate spending points, altering the objectives, the deployment, and the conditions until you've each spent your 2 points. So depending on how both players elect to choose their points, it affects what the objectives will be, what the deployment will be, and what special conditions will affect the game.
And so what we ended up with is key position.
Yep.
And force collision.
Yep.
And then none, because
right.
I put 2 points in objectives, Laura put 1 point in deployment and 1 point in condition.
Right. And so key position is each of us have to nominate secretly 2 pieces of terrain that will be that will count for victory conditions.
And it can be any piece of terrain.
Any piece of terrain anywhere on the board. And those of us who have, which of us has more troop units in base contact with those pieces of area terrain at the end of the game gets the most points and therefore wins. And you break ties with victory points in this game. It's actually
which is convenient because me and Laura tend to just shoot at each other.
Yeah.
And ignore objectives completely.
Yeah.
As most of our 40k games have gone that way. But we don't play that game anymore because that game
is canceled. Because a crack habit would be cheaper. Yeah. Anyway, so we deployed. We alternated deploying terrain using the using the tournament terrain deployment system. And then since I had to spend the first scenario point, I picked my corner, I deployed first, and I get to go first for the first turn. And so, and then we will see what happens after the first turn. Now, the deployment in this case is 24 inches from each corner. That's the deployment we ended up with. So we ended up concentrating a lot of terrain kind of in the center, because we're going to end up spending most of our time there. Because most units, most units in this game, except for walkers, have fairly short range weapons, and so you have no choice but to get close.
Oh yeah, unless you're a tank, you're basically going to be fighting at visual range,
like 12 inches,
as it would have been in 1940.
Yeah, you're going to be fighting like 12 to 16 inches
anything
tops.
Anything further than like 100 meters, you're probably not going to hit the enemy.
Right.
Your gun's going to misfire.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's also good because that goes with the whole reaction system in this game,
which is really nice.
Yeah, you have to get. Most of the fighting will happen within approximately 12 inches of the enemy, which is also the range within which enemy units can react to units that move within 12 inches of them, or that fire at them from within 12 inches. So, we'll come back after the first turn. So we've completed the command phase in our first turn here of Dust Warfare.
Ever.
Yep.
First turn ever.
Yeah, I know. We're trying to figure it out. It's like FIO. So here's how it works, right? Essentially, each player gets a number of dice for their command pool equal to the number of units they have on the table that aren't retreating. Each player rolls those dice, and the player with the fewest number of hits gets to become the initiating player,
which was me.
Yeah, both in the command phase and in the unit phase. But you get a number of orders equal to the number of hits you roll. So in order to win the ability to go act first, you necessarily must have fewer orders than your opponent.
Yeah, that's how they balance.
That's the idea of balancing. So the command phase, you can use these orders. I mean, you can use them to regroup, but that's not really relevant just yet. You can use them to get any unit to take one action, which is not subject to reactions. And each type of platoon from each army has a special action that they can take, special order. For instance, the combat platoon for the Allies can attempt to call in an artillery strike, whereas this type of platoon, combat platoon for the Axis, has the one that's Blitzkrieg. It allows you to take a move action in the command phase that is not subject to reactions.
Oh, alright,
yeah.
You can't react.
Actually, no, it's got to be something like that, because I think actions taken in the command phase aren't subject to reactions anyway. I got to reread what Blitzkrieg does. I'll come back to you on that. But
guys, we're learning.
Right. So he had G had 2 orders. He used one to move a
These
unit.
guys, I just moved them closer into the cover.
There we go.
They're recon grenadiers. They're right here. There's 5 of them.
And what'd you do with the other order?
Then I used my second order to resolve a long tom attack.
Oh yes, and
which did nothing.
Did nothing.
I mean, you got to roll a 1 or a 6, and you can't roll 1 and 6s all the time. And then because I have Bazooka Joe, he can take an order in the command phase without me actually having to spend an order on him.
Yeah.
So I moved him and the BBQ squad up a little bit.
Yep.
That way.
So in turn, I moved this squad here, which are I think recon grenadiers, forward using 1 order.
What squad?
The one that's in the.
No, they're battle grenadiers.
Oh, battle grenadiers. Sorry, mixed those up. And
Not painted yet, guys.
yeah, I know it
Again,
hurts.
bear with
But and then I used my other 2 orders that I had because I had a total of 3 to get each of my walkers to fire at his pounder over here, and I managed to do 1 point of damage to it. Walkers are much more difficult to damage in Dust Warfare than they were in Dust Tactics because the combination of the cover mechanic, where a hard cover, which we decided that these vehicles get behind crates. The big like shipping containers.
these things.
Yeah. Takes away 2 incoming impacts, and then they additionally get to roll a number of armor saves equal to the amount of
Health.
no, not the amount of health. Yeah, their armor rating.
Right.
So they're vehicle 4, so they get 4 armor save dice. This adds up to a whole lot more survivability than walkers have in Dust Tactics.
A lot
but
more.
Conversely, covers and armor is not nearly combines to not nearly be as good for troops in this game as it is in Dust Tactics.
But that's also because you could field a shit ton more troops in this game.
Well, yeah, no, obviously. Otherwise,
if you take the recon squads, you can have like an army of dudes, like retarded amounts of guys.
Yeah. So that's what we did with our orders, and now we're gonna do our unit phase, and we'll come back at the end of that and explain what the hell we did and how we dice failed miserably.
Okay, so it's the end of my unit activation phase. Lorenzo's about to start his. We're just going to do a quick recap of what I did. With the Recon Grenadiers over here, that you can now see, I just moved them 6 inches. Command Squad, they used the mechanic to fix the pounder. They failed. Pounder still has 1 damage. The pounder shot at the Ludwig.
Yeah.
Right? And didn't do anything. These guys moved from here to there, and they're not in range to shoot anything, and they're just kind of there. The Steel Rain shot at Laura's Battle Grenadiers with its petard mortar. Actually killed 2 guys. That's all it did.
Yeah.
Oh god, I forgot what they're called. The bot killers or whatever. They just moved around the Steel Rain. They actually weren't in range to shoot anything. They just moved around. And the BBQ squad just moved up a little bit to try and get closer without actually getting too close so they wouldn't get killed. Yep. That's really all I did. Turn 1, good times.
Yep. Now it's going to be my first turn 1 unit phase, and I'll come back and describe what the hell we did after.
Alright, so we're back, and Lorenzo just finished his unit phase, and he's a little bit mad already.
Well,
I fear for my life.
It's okay. The dice, as usual, have elected not to cooperate with me. So I just moved up my various units into slightly better positions, except for that unit, because it's got a reaction token and suppressed, so it could take 0 actions in the unit phase.
Point.
Yeah.
He's talking about these guys?
Yeah, well, I was pointing the camera at them. Oh. And then I tried to fire with both my Ludwig and Lothar.
Yep, good call.
Yep.
Right names.
Legit
names.
I used the Lothar at this unit and did dick all.
At what unit?
And,
Their battle...
Right. And then I fired the Ludwig at the pounder and did nothing.
Failed to pound.
So that was productive. So I've achieved very little. And we're going to set up for turn 2 now and get going with the command phase. And we'll come back after the command phase.
Well, we're just not going to show you the end phase because really nobody cares.
Well, no, the end phase is just you remove
it's
suppression token from each unit and all reaction tokens.
Right.
And that's it. That's all that happens.
So no one needs to see this. We're going to come back after the command phases
of turn 2, yeah.
But then I'll be really drunk.
Yep.
Okay, so we're at the end of the second turn command phase. As the allies, I got to go first again. Lorenzo dice failed, kind of.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't because he rolled a lot of hits. But in this case, he dice failed. So I got to go first. What I did is I didn't move. I shot with these guys at Lorenzo's Battle Grenadiers. Didn't do any damage because 50% of my squad that was shooting at them, these 2 guys,
oh, yeah.
had line of sight.
Sorry, Let me just try and like start paying attention and zooming into the crap you're talking
Right,
about.
okay. So these two guys, I just moved them. They shot at these guys when they were over here. These two guys had unobstructed line of sight. These two guys shot at the same squad, but because they were behind the tank trap and this...
Well, it's that counts, not the tank trap, because they're in the terrain. They're in the area terrain, so they don't count it for obscured.
So because of this tank trap here,
yeah,
they were obscured. Because 50% of the squad that was actually shooting was obscured, I didn't get to. He got cover saves and armor saves, and nothing happened. My missile launcher, which is the guy in the middle, who would have had unobscured line of sight to that squad, shot at the guy that he's good at killing, which is the Luther. Failed. But the reasoning behind my tactics is that like the way I set them up was, I guess, kind of poor, but because of the way they were set up, Lorenzo got covered. Lorenzo guys survived. My guys didn't do any damage, and now we're both going to get cover in the next turn.
Yeah.
The only other order I issued
was
a long tom,
but it missed
which failed, and that was really all.
Yeah.
So I had an extra order. I didn't have anything I wanted to do with it, based on the consequences of using an order, which we talked about before.
Right.
And now Laura's going to talk about
I used one less order than I had. I had 3 orders, and I only used 2.
Same as
I used 1 order to advance the...
Recon Grenadiers, right?
No, those are Battle Grenadiers. The ones in front.
That's the order that they got the penalty,
Yeah, they have the reaction token because they used an order to be moved up to that position. And then I used the Blitzkrieg special order to move the Recon Grenadiers up.
Which are the painted guys in the background.
Yeah, I'm zoomed in on them right now.
Awesome.
And because the Blitzkrieg special order, the unit that receives it, and you can only issue it to 1 order per command phase, doesn't receive a reaction token. So
one
they
unit,
can still take.
not 1 order.
Right. No, but you can issue the order once to 1 unit.
You said 1 order.
Yeah, all right.
Segway!
Right. Anyway, point is, they get to take 1 move action without suffering a reaction token, so that they can act normally in the unit phase, which will be coming up now. And then once once he kills my stuff and I dice fail, we'll come back to summarize what happened. Okay, here we are at the end of the unit phase for turn 2.
Yep.
G did some things that he's going to tell us about.
Basically, I moved... No, I didn't. I shot my dead squad of combat rangers. They're here. Yeah. They're very dead. At Lore's battle grenadiers that were behind this cover. They killed them.
Yep.
They used all their UGLs. And then they proceeded to die later on in the game. But then I also managed to fire the 4.2 rockets on the Steel Rain at Lorenzo's Ludwig.
And he used...
Which got me 20 dice.
Yeah, with rerolls from sustained attacks. So horrendous. It was just like, boom, dead.
Yeah, that thing.
So, like, yeah.
No chance.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
It's gone, and it died like a bitch.
And didn't actually do very much.
I know, because...
I managed to repair the damage to the pounder.
Yep. And in retaliation, I...
killed that squad of battle...
I killed them, but...
They need
I moved 1 squad of... what are those guys? I think those guys are battle grenadiers.
Where?
Up. They're behind the other side.
Them?
Yeah.
They're the... No. Yes, battle grenadiers. I've
got the Recon Grenadiers positioned over there, almost in an Overwatch position, vis-a-vis where his squad is.
Sorry. Wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Never mind. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
They're not battle grenadiers, they're panzer killers.
Oh, okay.
That's what the problem
is. Whatever, Yves.
No, I know, but people care.
Yeah, okay, but whatever. I don't know. Anyhow, and then I moved my laser grenadiers and Sigrid back there because there's no point in having them out behind that piece of cover while there's no troops in range for them to shoot with their lasers. So they just gonna stand there and wave while they get shot by a walker.
Yeah.
So I just basically was like, oh, I'm gonna set up for later turns and run away and hide because I'm not accomplishing anything with my dice anyway. So.
And to be honest, his dice has been again spectacular.
That's all right. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think there's actually a lot more to this particular scenario than how many people you kill. Because the scenario's actually got other complications going on.
For all I know, I have no idea what your objectives are.
Right, and I don't necessarily know what the hell yours are.
Well, all I can
so it's
say,
like basically a guessing game.
End of command phase, turn 3.
After the command phase, and we used our orders a little bit. He used, I think the only order he really used that was effective was the long tom.
Long Tom did nothing.
He called it an artillery strike on these two hidden squads, and suppressed them. But then I used my orders to get rid of that, and that's about it. I fired with my Lothar over here.
Yeah.
I fired his rockets at the Steel Rain, and I got 5 hits on 6 dice. He didn't have cover, and then he proceeded to roll past 4 armor saves, and so he took 1 point of damage.
I rolled 1-1, 6-6.
Yeah. 4 out of 4.
For those of you who don't know, we use 1 and 6 as hits because on the Dust Tactics dice,
they're on opposite sides.
It equates to the exact.
Yeah, and I hate the Dust Tactics dice. Anyway.
They're horribly machined.
Right. So, so I had 1 point of damage to the Steel Rain, even though it should have died. And the rest of my units sat around with their thumbs up their asses.
High five.
And that's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens in the unit phase. They're going to high five to make it okay. Yeah.
I have no business being on the internet right now.
You have no business being on the internet at any time.
That's true. True story.
He used a bunch of his units to shoot. He moved his barbecue squad.
Zoom in on the dice, if you can.
Oh, yeah.
You can.
There was, when he used his barbecue squad. Yeah.
Let's count this out, kids.
He had 12 dice,
3, 4,
and he scored 8 hits.
5, 6, 8.
Yep. 8 hits on 12 dice. That's statistically likely. So the squad that I put behind that crate to overwatch them
I'm going to
died
Vegas.
like bitches. And then the squad that was back behind this crate, or container, died like bitches when he shot at them. Then my guys shot and did nothing. And that's pretty much what happened. So I have 1, 2, 3 units left, and this game will be probably over by the end of the next turn.
All I know is I make cover saves like it's my job. Okay, so we're at the end of turn 4 now, which means there's only 1 more turn left in the game. I don't know where the hell our dice counter went, but that's probably because I've had too much pizza and beer. But yeah, so at the end of turn 4.
Yeah.
Lorenzo's kind of reeling, no offense.
Yep.
His dice his dice have not been there for him. He's been like, I mean, even when he's shooting me, it's just not working out for him. And my dice have, on the contrary, been like ridiculous. Again, I just rolled like 6 dice.
Like that barbecue squad needs to be alive.
Sorry? What? The hell?
Oh, the 5 hits on your like
6 dice?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Like, I've been just pulling on all the stops when it comes to D6s.
Yeah.
And Lorenzo's been doing the opposite of that.
Yeah. So no, that's whatever. It's par for the course.
On the interesting thing, there is the objective that I really don't know what his objective is.
He's got 1 squad that's back behind this container, and he's got another squad that's up over there. That's what's left of the barbecue squad.
Oh yeah.
And he's got his Steel Rain over here, and he's got his Pounder and his command squad back here.
Right. So all my frontline guys have pretty much bought it at this point.
Yeah. Well, except that. Never mind.
Well,
but, all right.
The barbecue squad is hanging on.
Yeah.
But I mean, like my frontline squads are gone.
Yeah.
The recon guys are gone. The regular combat squad is gone.
Yep.
I'm left with the bot killers and half of a barbecue squad.
Yep.
Steel Rain with no rockets and the Deuce over here.
Yeah, and I've got like the Lothar, or not Lothar. Yeah.
Hey, Lothar, you're right.
Lothar. The command squad, which is back there.
And I just want to mention
and
something.
The laser grenadiers.
I just want to mention something quickly before we cut. So far, from my experience, I don't know if Lorenzo agrees, but from my experience, I find that Dust Warfare is a more eloquent form of Dust Tactics. I find that the rules have been more, I guess, balanced. Shit does more damage now than it did in Dust Tactics. Like the UGLs, the underslung grenade launchers on my guys before in Dust Tactics, they were all right. I mean, like I'm not going to complain about.
I think one of the major differences is that, like, from my experience, from what I've seen from this game, is that in Dust Tactics, the allies kind of suck, actually.
Well, yeah, they're unbalanced.
Yeah.
They don't have
Like,
the hitting power. That they
the
do in
allies
Dust Warfare.
cannot really stand up to a competent Axis player
No.
in general.
Especially when you start
In
taking,
this, they're much more balanced.
when you start taking like double laser grenadier squads and shit,
Yeah.
so it's getting retarded. Right, but like right now, I mean, UGLs in Dust Tactics they're 1-1.
Yeah.
In Dust
Which means
Warfare
they
they're
roll
2-1.
1 dice to hit against armor 2 soldiers for each one of them in the
Right.
squad, and then 1 dice for to do damage with each of the hits.
Right, and in Dust Warfare
Or
they're
1
doing
point of damage. Sorry, 1
for
point
each
of
guy
damage
with a
for each hit.
UGL, you're doing 4 damage. You're doing two dice for each guy with UGL. So in a squad of 5, you got 4 guys with the underslung grenade launcher. That's fucking 8 dice.
As opposed to 4. Makes a big
As opposed
difference.
to 4. You're doing a lot more damage with sustained attack. You're getting crazy rerolls.
Yep.
The underslung grenade launcher helps in close combat. Allies are really good.
Yep.
Whereas in Dust Tactics, not so much.
Yep.
And I think it's been more balanced now. Where
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's been more fine tuned.
Yep.
Which sucks for Dust Tactics.
Yeah. Well, I still like Dust Tactics.
No.
Though. It's a fun game.
So why? But you can see that they've learned from their mistakes.
Yep.
They've improved on them,
Yeah.
unlike GW.
I'm actually
And
surprised at how well the covers mechanic works out here combined
Yes.
with the armor saves.
Way better.
I was really wary of it when I initially read it in the rulebook.
Oh, because it sounds horrible.
Yeah, it sounds like everything dies.
Sounds like
you
you're
look
gonna
at
kill.
it. But then I started rolling dice and realized that my guns actually are like Nerf guns.
Yeah.
And so that the cover mechanic actually works out alright.
Well, the cover mechanic actually keeps you alive.
Well, it keeps you alive.
Well, I roll retarded, but I mean, even on average.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding, man.
It's still better than in Dust
Yeah.
Tactics, where soft cover, hard cover.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. Alright. Point is, here we are at the end of turn 5.
We're done the game.
We're done the
We
game.
managed to finish it before we record the podcast.
I know, which is happening immediately after this bullshit. So, I managed to kill a G squad that was hiding behind this container. And so G has left his Steel Rain, his
We really didn't show up to work after the
Command
third turn.
Squad, his Pounder, and he's got a couple guys left in...
Oh yeah, the barbecue squad.
Yeah, the barbecue squad with Joe Brown, who were like hiding. I actually managed to end up having my command squad on one of my objectives, and my laser grenadiers was Sigrid, who came through in the clutch by smoking the shit out of these guys.
Berserk is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
Holding my other objective, while G nominated this shuttle piece here of terrain
And this black red
and
box.
this black box right there. Since I killed the squad that was holding that, I actually ended up winning the game 2 objectives to 1.
Well, they all died, so good game.
So, Sigrid, come through in the clutch,
Yeah.
finally.
Berserk, it's good news.
Yep, Berserk is so busted in
And
this.
well, you know what? I don't think it's that busted because you don't get to reroll the hits with sustained attack. So it's kind of the same.
No,
thing
but
as
like,
this tactic.
right, but like Berserk applies to the whole squad, so you get to reroll all your hits and all your misses.
Right, but it's still not as retarded.
So
as
it's like,
reroll.
I had
everything.
I basically had 16 dice.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
agree.
it's like,
It was good as bears.
yeah, balls are touching.
Like there was because I ended up going first this turn. I couldn't
Yeah.
really do anything to deal with that. It was just there.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, our first playtest of Dust Warfare. We actually really enjoyed the game, I think.
Yeah, I really did
I really like the mechanics of the rule system, and the game actually plays reasonably quickly. I mean, the game took us like
We ate a
100
pizza.
millennia.
We drank a whole shit ton of beers.
Yeah, exactly, but we were
We went to
talking
a
for
rubber
half
tug
of it.
across the street.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But it was a good game.
Yeah, but it was actually a good game. Enjoyed the rules, and I hope you guys liked the
Hope you learned
greater
something
amount
more
of
importantly.
detail that was given in this video on what we did on each turn and what each unit did. So join us next week when we'll play some other
It
game.
may be Infinity or it may be Firestorm Model 335.
350, consider it's done.
350. You got
Yeah.
two 200-point armies and a game to play.
Yep.
What you're gonna do for terrain, I have no idea.
Yeah, well, look, considering what we ended up doing for terrain, we're not going to be much help to you in that department. We've
Yeah.
got,
So explain how we did it because you need to cover a
Yeah.
quarter of a 4x4 table and we couldn't. do it.
right, so we didn't have nearly enough. So we've got some boxes from AT-43s, some crates,
It's all AT-43.
some tank
Let's
traps,
not be shit here.
right? Now these are these 4 have been essentially connected to form a larger piece of area terrain.
There's no way
And-
in the middle. You can't get in.
Yeah. And these 5 tank traps represent an area of tank traps, so it's supposed to be all filled in with tank traps.
That's where Lorenzo's going to put his... So, on the table, I'm just going to spell it off really quickly what I got. I got 2 squads of... Oh, shit. Okay, let me do Lorenzo's first. 2 squads of battle grenadiers. One has an extra rocket launcher. He has the recon grenadiers. Laser grenadiers, I think Sigurd's with them, right?
Yep.
So it's Sigurd. And then he has a Luther and a Lothar.
Yep.
Right? And
I got some walkers, yep. I got a command squad back there somewhere.
That's pretty much what you would have got if you had bought the old school starter set, the artillery walker box, and one box of... I had too many beers. One box of the Panzer Killers. Really, to buy that would have cost you like $150. So that's a 200-point army. Probably costs about 150 USD or Canadian dollars. And I have a Pounder, a Steel Rain, the Recon Boys.
All these porn names in your army.
I know. I got the Recon Boys. I got the Gunners. I got the the Bot Killers or some shit. And I'm missing the BBQ Squad and Joe Brown, Bazooka Joe. His name's Joe.
Yeah.
So that's
really?
It. Yeah.
A character named Bazooka Joe's
name
is Joe?
And, yeah, it's awesome. Really, again, my army probably would have cost you about the exact same. Our armies are very similar. The buy-in was minimal. And, okay, that in the rule book you're looking at, in total, 300. How much was the rule book?
35.
So... What?
I can't deal with you.
Is it on?
Get your shit together.
I am. I'm ready. I'm proud.
Do the intro.
Okay. Hi, welcome to War Game Wednesday. You're an asshole. I hate you. Welcome to War Game Wednesday. This is episode 8, as I've been reminded 13 times. And as you can see, we're in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo.
Just like every anime.
Just like every anime since ever. No, we're actually going to be playing... Oh, the book's over there. I'm in the picture. We're playing Dust Warfare because Lorenzo quickied his order and we got it the day after.
Yeah, I know. I spent
crazy money.
$20 on shipping just to get the shit.
The shipping cost more than the book, but almost legit though.
Yeah.
But we actually had a chance to go through the rule book.
By which he means we had a chance for me to go through the rule book and then explain the rules to him,
and me to read the rules while under several painkillers and various other cold fighting drugs. So I don't remember very much of what I'm going to do. But we're actually very impressed with the rulebook from what we can remember. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
More or less. But, I mean, ultimately, you never know until you actually fucking playtest the rules, right?
And that's what we're going to do tonight. So we're playing 200 points. It's not really night. But anyway, 200 points.
Yeah.
Of Allies versus Axis, which is really all you can do with this.
Right. Although the SSU book is on its way.